Now what we're going to do is with a dry erase marker, because you can mark on your covering, and then when you're done, either wipe it off or even use some Windex to wipe it off if it's been a day or two. We're going to hold the wing up to the light, or you can do it with the sunlight. In this case, we have our servo box right here, so we can mark it with our dry erase marker. You can also mark the spots where the struts will connect into the wing as well. That way, when we get ready to put the servos in and screw down the servo hatch, you'll know where to either one, seal the wing with your sealing iron and make your cuts. After we mark where our servos are going to go here on our wing with the dry erase marker, one thing you can do is to go ahead and double check on your pieces the seal of the covering. I've got a couple different covering tools. I have a flat, little flat iron, and this is really, it's a trim tool, but it's really good for working along these kind of pieces here. What I found, because this SPAD has a lot of scalloped edges here, is actually using my curved horseshoe trim tool, and it really held down the edges really well, getting that nice and warm by doing that. On other things like the ribs, because you're dealing with areas, you know, that if you want to keep your shiny side shiny without scratching it, get a hot sock, put it on your iron, and that way when it's hot, you can go ahead and seal things down. It'll keep your covering without getting scratches, especially if you have an older iron like mine. And then lastly, using a heat gun, you can work the heat gun in to get out all the little wrinkles that you may have there. Biggest thing to do before you use the heat gun, though, is to make sure you have your edges all sealed down with the trim tool. What we're getting ready to do right now is to remove the center covering on the bottom of the stabilizer. Again, with the blue marks, what I've done is just marked it with a dry erase marker, so when we're done we have something to go with. The instructions say use a soldering iron to melt the covering, and I'm just going to melt it just inside the lines that we marked. And so when we score this out, the center covering will be ready to come up. Just using a flat knife, barely got underneath the corner, and what happens then is when you're ready to take this off, the covering separates right at your marks. Right now I have the incident meter on the lower wing. I went ahead and installed the lower wing here just so that I can set the angle and know that my stabilizer saddle is going to be at the same angle. Right now we're just at a hair over 2 degrees. Trying not to move the angles on the airplanes. We still have just a hair over 2 degrees, which lets me know that the stabilizer saddle and the lower wing are going to be in the same You'll tell me when I'm going.
You are.
Okay. 3, 2,
It's been going.
1.